These are not my words, but I resonate with this. It's a post from Facebook. I don't know who wrote it. Strong souls have been under attack since childbirth. It was hard for the high vibrational souls to penetrate the earth. When the arrival of a soul of a higher order is about to incarnate, the matrix reacts by transmitting the signal. Attention to all, it commands. Immediately, opposing forces fall upon the baby to prevent birth, induce an early death, or extinguish and steal the infant's potential to exercise its gifts. Externally, it may manifest as problems during the pregnancy or childbirth. The child is born into the most difficult environment to degrade them as much as possible. The system accurately reads vulnerabilities and problem points in order to strike them ruthlessly and consistently. The task is to deprive the child of self-confidence, to destroy the inner core, and to be subject to the most physical and psychological violence and constant criticism. As a result, the main goal is to stop the child from loving themselves, disconnect them from their own soul, and make them believe they have no value. One is taught to live like everyone else and do what they are told, not to believe in oneself or one's abilities, thereby handing over one's power to someone else. Yes, powerful souls may choose this cruel journey to elevate experiences to more difficult levels. However, once they descend to these lower vibrations, they instantly realize it is not as simple as it seemed from above. But there's nowhere to go, and not everyone passes the test of rising in those conditions while still being able to spread positive vibes around them. This path symbolizes the lotus flower, growing strong roots to overcome the darkness of the mud and all other obstacles. Similar to a human on a spiritual path, one goes through the experience of negativity. So if sometimes you feel tired, or you think that this is the darkest hour just before dawn, remember that soon your lotus flower will surface. My experiences do not require sympathy. I grew up in Flint, Michigan. That itself was a major attack on my soul. I lost 60% of my hearing at a very young age due to a childhood immunization. Later, a serious car accident in 2012 would cause an additional loss, bringing the percentage up to 80%. I'm legally deaf. I am self-conscious about my speech, so please bear with me. I will be discussing the polarized energy that constantly attacks us. It tries to extinguish our flame, darken our light, and shame us into believing we are not worthy. It finds everything we do to be wrong. This polarized energy will do everything in its power to destroy our soul. I've been married 3 times. Ironically, I was not even given a decent mother-in-law who loved me unconditionally and treated me like a daughter. Throughout each marriage, I was emotionally destroyed by all 3 mother-in-laws. I will be discussing the different polarized energy that I attracted throughout this lifetime. One of those polarized energies was my own father, as well as my own son. We need to start recognizing this energy so we can weaken it. It's time to slash its tentacles. This energy knows it's losing its hold. It knows it's losing power. At the age of 17, I became pregnant. I was madly in love and I wanted to get married. I wanted to have my baby. My boyfriend at the time did not want me to have this child. I begged him to join the army and for us to get married. I begged him to leave Flint, Michigan. He refused. My mother was so afraid of my father and what he might do if he found out I was pregnant. So between my mother and my father, I was literally forced to have that abortion. I did not have any other options. I had nowhere to go. I will be doing another video, and I will be going into detail regarding what happened during that abortion, the trauma that I suffered, and how it affected my life. But for now, I just want to cover what was created throughout my marriages. Approximately 5 months after the abortion, my boyfriend got into serious trouble with the law. The judge ordered him to join the army. He said, "If I see you in my courtroom once again for even a traffic violation, I'm going to throw you in jail. If I were you, young man, I would join the army." After court, my boyfriend said, "I'm going to join the army. We need to get married." My first thought was, oh my God, we could have kept our baby. Needless to say, that started a resentment towards my boyfriend that I could never get past. As soon as I turned 18, I married him, but our marriage was doomed from the beginning. Unable to conceive a child, it was a short marriage. My thought process told me that I was being punished by God. My resentment overpowered my critical thinking. I cheated. I caused terrible fights. I did everything I could to hurt him. This marriage would also produce an abusive mother-in-law and sister-in-law. I finally left after 4 years. My daughter would have been 46 years old this year. She did come through during a quantum healing hypnosis session. I will be doing a video about that. I ended up getting pregnant by someone I did not love. I had a son who I would later have to walk away from because he himself is a polarized energy. My second marriage was to a drug addict, another polarized energy that I thought I had to stay married to in order to avoid further punishment from God. This man blessed me with 2 beautiful daughters, but the marriage literally cost me everything financially, emotionally, physically, and mentally. I was at the top 10 category of codependency. His mother, well, I know there's different levels of polarized energy, just as there's different levels of positive energy. We have different levels and different frequencies. She was a very low frequency, polarized energy, yet she was a high-ranking narcissist. There was never peace. She was verbally and emotionally abusive on a daily basis. That's the only way I can describe her, because I really don't believe she was human. I don't believe she had a human level of consciousness. I'm not even sure if she had a soul. She was evil. Anyone that came in contact with her felt her evil. My husband never stood a chance at sobriety with that woman and the dark spell that she had upon him. I was married to him for 14 years. My third marriage, I married a pervert. In his 60s, this was a 60-something-year-old pervert. He was a predator. He got away with some type of sexual conduct with a student when he was a teacher. I'm not sure of the full story because, of course, he couldn't tell the truth to save his life. He did have an addiction to porn, and that was just not a good situation to be in. During this short 3-year marriage, I was in constant competition with other women that he would lust over. He would compare me to these women. He had a cute little way of body shaming me. He also brought forth a mother-in-law from hell, one that he would move in with us and then manipulated me into caring for her full time. This woman had dementia and needed around-the-clock care. I was never trained to be a nurse or take care of the elderly. He knew if he put her in her home that would be expensive and that would cut into his inheritance. While I was caring for his mother full time, he fell in love with one of my friends right before my eyes. Yet I was crazy. I was crazy for even thinking such a thought that he would be cheating. After all, he was just helping her. He thought of her like a sister. He was just helping her. She needed help. After our divorce, 3 months after our divorce, they bought a house and a business together. They were living together and running a full business. In between my marriages, I encountered only narcissistic relationships. Everything from you're parking the car wrong in the driveway, you're putting the milk in the refrigerator wrong, the groceries don't go on the conveyor that way to the cashier. As a result, I retaliated, of course, and then I was even crazier. 2 of my husbands had me convinced that their wives, their ex-wives, were evil and that my husbands were the victims. Excuse me. I projected such hatred towards the ex-wives only to discover for myself the polarized energy and how it affected me, how it changed me and made me a monster. I was always creating fight or flight energy in all of my relationships. I now understand the behavior of the ex-wives. I understand that there are many healers that claim if we can't forgive, we can't heal, and we can't move on. I do not find this to be true. First of all, how do you forgive someone for being who they truly are? Second of all, how do you forgive yourself for allowing things to happen for as long as they did? I mean, anyone in these types of relationships are literally hoping and praying that there will be a change for the better. Why should I forgive myself for wishing for better? The only real forgiveness that I'll acknowledge is the fact that I allowed myself to be so manipulated into believing these men were victims that I projected terrible thoughts and energy towards their ex-spouses. Quite frankly, I'm past the whole we need to forgive BS. At any given time throughout all of my relationships, these polarized energies were given an opportunity to work with Source, to make a change in their energy field, to change their frequency, to vibrate higher, to be better, to be nicer. They were given a chance to treat me right, a chance to invite the light in and allow the light to guide them. They made a choice not to do so. There are polarized energies out there that are making great changes. They no longer wish to be held captive in this dark, dense energy. They have let the light in and are now being guided by Source. We see this happening. It is possible for a narcissistic abuser, a polarized negative energy, to change. They can choose to change. And that's when they deserve forgiveness. The people that continue to abuse and hurt, especially when you say to them, what you're doing is hurting me, your words, your actions, they hurt me, yet they continue to cause pain. When you tell someone they're hurting you, you're giving them an opportunity to make change. When they continue in the same manner, knowing it hurts you, they do not deserve your forgiveness. You don't have to forgive them, and please don't feel guilty if you can't forgive. Let us thank the polarized energy. It is through that energy that we learn how not to be. I'm not here to forgive and forget. I'm here to experience and make changes in the frequency of my energy field. I have released my resentment and my anger. Perhaps that in itself is a form of forgiveness. I'm here to break down this polarized energy because it's not going to the new earth. I'm breaking it down so my grandchildren don't have to do it. What an honor and a privilege to be here doing this incredible work. I'm 100% convinced that I've had a past life as a horrible mother-in-law. I now understand the energy that I attracted, and I forgive myself for being such a wicked mother-in-law. The karmic debt was threefold. I will never let that happen again. I release that energy to the light, back to Source, where it can be healed. Although not everything is about pain, karmic debt, some experiences are about opportunities presenting themselves because there's an order for change. I have shared my out-of-body experience in a previous video, where Spirit explained to me that I summoned all of these challenges so I could clear this energy. Although it has not been pleasant or easy, and there was plenty of times I wanted to check out, I am so grateful to God for denying my request when I asked for God to please take me. It truly is an amazing time to be alive. If you can't forgive someone, don't beat yourself up about it. Remember, they had an opportunity to be better. Wherever you are in this world, please remember that you are loved and you are loved.